Hello everybody and welcome to another Junk Journal with me video. I'm going to be working on I think 3 spreads in this video, and I'm just kind of putting aside the COVID and lockdown related journaling for a week or so. Just I need a bit of a break from it. And also I did a flip through recently that was loaded up onto the channel of 2 of my junk journals from last year, and as I was going through them there was a it's hard to explain, but like certain styles and things I used to do and love doing in my journals, I felt like I'd stopped doing that as much. I've been doing a lot of event journaling, this is going on, or here's a picture and I'm going to talk about the picture. Whereas in my previous journals, I generally just kind of preferred making pretty things, and if there was a photo or an event that went with it, then fine. But if there wasn't, I'd just write out a verse of poetry or song lyrics or something, like an emo teenager. And I thought I need to get back to that because I liked it a lot more. So this is kind of what I'm doing in this video. I think there might be a couple of events I include, but it's mostly just creating pretty things for the sake of it. So these first pages, I had no plan whatsoever. I really wanted to include that laminated, dried, it's not a flower, it's a leaf or a fern or whatever. I laminated a bunch of my dried foliage, we'll call it, for another project I did months ago. I made a Mother's Day card which had like a window of dried flowers in, and to take up all the space in the laminating sheet I just threw in a couple of extras and thought I'll use them in another project eventually. So that one and another one have been sitting on my desk for a while, and I just wanted to include it. It's just like a little tip in or something. The entire leaf itself is actually taller than the book, but I thought if I cut it down enough, then just like the little tippity bit of the fern is going to stick out, and I'm just adding washi to tip that in. On the other page there's just a bit of packaging, a bit of an old Daphne's diary thing, that they were all sort of floral and greenery and stuff. That butterfly I added was from, I bought myself a stamp set and I just tested out the stamp set on some scrap paper, and I just had it lying around, so I thought I'd add that. I'm coloured that with Distress Oxide in Bundled Sage, just to give it that nice little green touches. You can see just at the top there's 2 more little things from that stamp set that I stamped out to test, and I'm going to use those later on in the video. The next page I had on the other side of that tip in was an Edith Holden page, and I had some bits sent to me from Ellen Oscar Journals on Etsy. She sent me some of her beautiful things from her shop, and she has these envelopes made from Edith Holden pages, so I thought I'd include one of those little envelopes on that page. And the little tag is from her shop as well, and I've just added the same ink around the edges of that. That Bundled Sage works so well for that sort of slight greenery botanical vibe. This little piece I have here, this is a printable I printed off so long ago, like I don't even know how long I've had it. I looked up the website that was on the printable page and it doesn't exist anymore, but I found that they have another website, so it's from Vintage Glam Studio. So, and I've managed to find it even though it was, the printable itself is years old, so I will be able to link that. It's a really nice printable set actually. I find myself going to it quite a lot. But yeah, I just added that little piece on top of the tag, and on the reverse of the tag is one of my own printables from my new Vintage Ads collection, Vintage Ads 2, which I'll link if you're interested. Then I glued the envelope in as a tip in by putting tape on one side of the envelope flap, but then added washi like where the envelope meets the paper, as if to look like it's actually put in with washi. And then here just adding a verse of The Lady of Shalott, one of my favourite poems. I just thought writing of some kind would look really nice on that paper, but there wasn't anything particular I wanted to journal about, so yeah, just finding a verse of a poem that I thought wouldn't look nice. Then just adding stickers and rub-ons and stuff, just a few bits over the envelope just to add more little interest points and stuff. And that is it for those pages. Next up, I'm coming to these pages, that pink page on the left. So on the other side of that, I had used my stapler for sticking something that was awkward to stick down. So that side of the page was nothing but like that ugly reverse side of the staplers, so I'm just going to completely cover that up. That there is some wrapping paper that I kept from my birthday all the way back in December. Someone gave me some presents wrapped in this gorgeous wrapping paper, so obviously I kept it because it's just so pretty. Again with the bundled sage, and I'm just going to glue that onto there. Some of the pink is sticking out from the edge, but none of the awkward ugly staples are. But I didn't like the pink, little hint of pink like between the two pages, so I'm just covering that up with a wide strip of floral washi. I had absolutely no idea whatsoever what I wanted to do on these pages, so I just grabbed an envelope. I keep an envelope of photos that are specifically for junk journaling, and first I pulled out this little picture of my niece's slash sister's dog, Cody, who is the cutest little thing in the world, and then in a bit as well I'm going to pull out a picture of my cat as well. No reason or anything for using these pictures, just I thought they were cute and would look nice, and I kind of want them in a journal documented somewhere, but don't necessarily need to write anything about them or something like that. Oh, that just there was me finishing a roll of washi tape. I hope you're suitably impressed. I always get excited when I finish a roll of washi tape. It's like I've achieved something. But that particular roll of washi tape I like so much, I happen to know that I do have a spare of it. It's really pretty. It's got roses and gold foil. I had to buy two, obviously. So other bits I've added, that was another ripped piece from Daphne's diary. I put washi over the straight edge of it because I didn't like the straight edge, basically. The photos, I'm backing on some more Daphne's diary bits. I use these all the time in junk journaling. Some of you have heard me say this a million times before, but basically a couple of years ago I bought the Daphne's diary for the year, used it for about half of the year, then stopped using it, but still have kept all the pages because they're so pretty and so perfect for any sort of journaling. I thought I would add a few dried flowers with a wax seal because I love that effect and I don't do it enough. So I've added those. I personally like to glue down the flowers as well as the wax seal, keeping them there. I just find they'll bits, because they're dried flowers, bits break off and whatnot, so I just add a tiny drop of glossy accents where I can, just to help keep the flowers in place so that in the future when you're flipping through your journals they're not just going to crumble and break off. I've added some stickers, those green leafy stickers I added in either corner. Those are ones that I have purchased for use in my shop for my junk journal kits and stuff, but I have to go through all of the things that arrive to make sure they're good quality and there's no errors or whatever. And there was a load of stickers recently that had like bits missing and whatnot, so I have a few of these leafy stickers that I'm including because I can't have them in the shop, but it's fine to use them for myself, obviously. But yeah, just a few more little stickers added here and there, and then finishing off with some of the Tim Holtz clipping stickers, and this is the new-ish clippings little sticker book rather than the other ones. I think there's more phrases in there and there's also like different colours as well, so I am loving this sticker book at the moment. Then I think, this is the second to last thing I do. This is just one little page on its own. Oh, sorry, that was my voice starting to go there. I just had to have a little break for a little cough and a drink of water. It's the pollen count, it's the hay fever. My throat is not happy with, yeah, the pollen count today. Anyways, this is just a single page. I am using the back of this particular signature for this. And I have this little letter that was sent to me in this really cool like thing where it's an envelope and a letter all in one, like it folds out. And the person that sent me that letter, so that's the letter that they sent me, but they also sent me an envelope for me to use to someone, so obviously I've got that to use at some point, but I wanted to keep the letter that they sent, so I've just decided to make a little page for it. No real theme or anything, I was just picking random things that I felt like using, and because the envelope slash letter is a navy blue colour, I am sticking with that sort of colour theme. So we've got navy blue kinds of washi, and then that bit of packaging I've used there and just ripped a bit off. I'm going around the edges with Distress Oxide and Chipped Sapphire, and then I decided just before I stick all these down, let's do a little bit of stamping on that craft paper I stuck down. So as there are stars on the envelope, I'm going with a little star stamp I've got, and I'm using Versa Magic Dewdrop in Night Sky. There we go. And because it's the chalk ink, it looks really, really lovely on top of that craft paper. I'm just checking that I can actually, after sticking down the envelope, checking that it's going to fold. Usually you should do that before you stick the thing down. But now I'm just adding a couple of little decorative pieces, a little strip of washi, a couple of random stickers and stuff, and I think that's about it. Just, you know, little areas of interest and what's not. Now, next couple of pages I'm going to do are ones where I very much went out of my comfort zone, but not on purpose. It just sort of happened. Comfort zone of colours this is. So I wanted to cover that patterned paper on the left because it's not my kind of thing. I wasn't liking it very much. So just grabbed a vintage book page, cut it down to size, and then stuck it over that pattern paper. And it also slightly goes over the center as well. So I was using that ruler there just to sort of help the fold between the two pages. I didn't cut it perfectly because I didn't measure it. So there were some awkward gaps at the top and the bottom of the page. So I'm just covering those up with little strips of washi here and there. And then I am going to grab that little bit of red packaging you can see with the bees on. That was some packaging for some little vellum tickety things. And these two images that I mentioned earlier about something that I'd stamped onto scratch paper just to play around with. So because that piece of packaging with the bees and butterflies and stuff on was that bricky red colour, I was like, let's do red. I never do anything with red. Let's just push the boat out and do red. So that, again, that page is from the Daphne's Diary. I found something with red on it. I'm adding random strips of red washi, whatever I can find in my stash, again just to cover up any awkward gaps or anything like that. I pulled out Distress Oxide Infied Brick to do all of my inking on this page. It's kind of more like a, well, it's a fired brick. It's more of a subdued red, like not in your face red, but just a little more like that more toned down kind of colour, which I kind of prefer to use. And that's the same kind of colour as that packaging as well. I found in my pile of scraps this little scrap of a vintage botanical book, and it had red and orange flowers on, so I was like, yes, this is perfect. Again, around the edges with that, with the fired brick. Put that down on the side with the book page. And then this thing I'm putting down, this is half of a postcard from a place that's fairly local to me. It's only a few minutes down the road in Hythe. St Leonard's Church, I think it is. They have, I always get, is it an ossuary? They have 2,000 skulls in the bone house or whatever, and we only went for the first time like a couple of years ago, and I've lived in this area pretty much my whole life, so I got a couple of postcards and things, and I just wrote some journaling about how, like, there's so many things in my local area that I kind of either don't go to or like forget about and stuff, and how I need to appreciate that once lockdown is over, of course, or once my family in particular start going out, because we are shielding and we will not be going out from Monday. No, 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 no. Anyway, I wasn't supposed to be talking about that, but I've added some various skull stickers to kind of go with the skull theme that kind of came out of nowhere. Those little skulls and roses stickers are from my own shop, so I'll link those if you're interested, but there's also some other bits, just random bits from my stash as well that I have used. And then I don't know if there's anything else. I'm just adding another little flower to that little cluster there. And oh, I just wanted to, that washi tape was more like a paper tape, wasn't sticking very well, so I've added a little bit more glue to that just to make sure my tip-in is going to stay where it's supposed to and not just fall off in a couple of days, which it would have done had I not added that extra adhesive. Anyways, there we go. There are all my spreads complete. Just having fun creating pretty things in my journal, not necessarily documenting anything. I think it's quite therapeutic to do stuff like that. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. As always, relevant links will be in the description box below. Please leave me a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Chat to me down in the comments. I always love talking to everybody, and that's about it. I'm going. Thank you again. Bye bye.